Pay me, pay me, pay me my silver now. Pay me or go to jail. Pay me my silver now.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn disease, your sip of chaga coffee. Some surprising news coming out of the U.S. Mint today. That's a ticker tape. As of yesterday, they have added 800,000 Silver Eagles to their production numbers. Now, these numbers are supposed to be added weekly, I believe it was. Oh, they were doing weekly. I think it's daily that they're supposed to, but they've been doing it weekly, and they hadn't done barely any. They did 400,000 as of yesterday. Let's see. Sales totals by month are updated every weekday. So they're supposed to update it every day. Unless they did 800,000 Silver Eagles yesterday, they aren't doing what... Again, they're breaking the law. Not that that's the law, but that's their... it says right here, sale total by month are updated every weekday at 5 p.m. Anyway, they added 800,000 yesterday. I was a little worried about to call my friend Jack, who runs the Silver Eagle program, and say, what's the deal? I thought we had an extra 4 million coins to hit us around 20 million. They're shooting for 20 million this year. Has nothing to do with demand, by the way. Just remember that. It's got nothing to do with the demand of the public, which is the legal obligation of the U.S. Mint. But, yeah, it would have really raised a stink had they come in at anywhere below 1 million coins for July. But it looks like they had stopped. And then all of a sudden, 800,000. Does it have anything to do with what we were talking about yesterday? How the game is so obvious on every single level, especially the U.S. Mint? I don't know. Because if they came in with only 400,000 Silver Eagles made in July, there would have been a hell of a lot of people talking about it. I think they're scared of people talking about it. And there's a lot of good silver people out there keeping an eye on the U.S. Mint. Not a ton, but a lot. They're definitely keeping an eye on premiums that have come down below $10 and falling. So, yeah, buy your Silver Eagles, I guess. It's still marked up like 30% more than it should be marked up, because the U.S. Mint is supposed to sell it to the public at their cost. That's it, just their cost. The U.S. Mint is not supposed to make a profit on their bullion program, even though last year they made $80 million on their bullion program. Completely illegal. Ventures Gibson, what the hell are you doing? And what about the lawyers for the Mint? Who are these lawyers? Did they just decide to sidestep the law? It sounds like it. And my buddy Jack Sermon over there at the Mint told me that back in his day, and he's been there 35 years or something like that, back in his day, the Mint lawyers were all over him for selling only at cost, because Jack was like, I want to mark this up a little. The demand's off the charts. And they were saying, nope, it's illegal. You have to sell at cost, which was at the time, I think, $2 over. He says now the cost is about $2.50 over. But they're selling it at $2.95, $3 over. So, hey, if you're an authorized distributor of the U.S. Mint, you should go to the Mint and say, hey, why am I paying an extra 50 cents per coin? Even though they're marking up the shit, they're marking up so high because the Mint isn't supplying the coins. They shouldn't be paying that extra 50 cents per coin, is what Jack was telling me. So, I agree. The U.S. Mint is broken, like most of the Obama administration. But this is not just Obama. Again, 2021, the U.S. Mint booked a $112 million loss on their hedge book in a year that the price of silver went down. When the price of silver goes down, you should make money on your hedge book. That's the whole reason for having a hedge book. But in 2021, the U.S. Mint made an executive decision not to close out their hedges when they sold their metals, because it would have jacked the price, and we're already having problems. So probably Rustam Benham, who also reports to Janet Yellen, went to Janet Yellen and said, oh my God, tell Ventures Gibson that she can't cover the hedges that we put on to hedge the metal at the U.S. Mint. I'm sure Ventures was very upset. How do we make money? Because she's very proud of the U.S. Mint making money. They make money on the numismatic coins that they mark up 300%. Insanely. Which is not illegal according to the law, but it's also not part of the law that they have to make that amount. It's basically just capped. I believe. I haven't studied that one real deeply. I do know that the U.S. Silver Eagle program is required by law to meet demand, and that is clearly not what's happening. So anyway, so be it. The Mint has covered their ass at least for July. I would hope they would bump it up to like 1.5. We'll find out in the next week. They still have a week. So we will see how many were made in July. Silver price gets a little bump up from the slam down the last couple of days. Now remember, we are watching Wednesday through Tuesday. That's the reporting week. Wednesday through Tuesday. So let's take a look at where we were. Wednesday through Tuesday. So Wednesday you're hovering right in here, right around $25. And then you had the slam into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, not open trading, to Monday. And all of a sudden we got a bump up. Now the question is, so what happens is the commercials allow it to go up in the beginning of the week. Then when they're in full operation mode, then they slam it down with either selling the longs that they put on, or in this case, selling more shorts, and then using that downdraft to get the tech traders to dump. Then they cover. So I think we're going to find out, because today is the last day of trading for this reporting week. So we're going to find out and when the price goes down, that's when they cover, right? We're going to find out how much they were able to cover of the 120 million ounces of shorts, naked shorts, I believe, that they put on the week before. How much were they able to cover? From this, to look at this chart, I'm guessing they covered probably 30 million ounces of the 120 million ounces, so they'll be down to 90 million ounces. I don't know, but let's take a look, right? Write it down. Let's see what happens. Are the commercials able to cover 30 million ounces of silver on the COMEX because of this slam down, which would be 6,000 contracts? We will find out. Clearly from the data yesterday, someone was covering 2,000 contracts got covered yesterday. So 10 million yesterday. I didn't see the day before. Let's take a look at the day before. Can we do that? Yeah. These are contracts. Yeah. So we have 5 million the day before. And then that's 100,000. So 5, 10, 15. On Wednesday they did, and that was the big jump. So, I don't know. I don't know if you can tell by open interest, truthfully. But meanwhile, in the background, you have all these derivatives being triggered. The big one being exchange for physical, where they take their futures contracts and send them over to London. And Harvey Organ does a great job tracking that. They did another almost 3 million ounces yesterday. And so you got to add 3 million. So July is now at 80 million. 80 million exchange for physicals. It's just another one of their games. There's so many games that they play in the silver world that they think, oh, no one can see us if we do this. We can see everything they do. Everything. It just, you don't see the names. Although you can easily find out the names. All you got to do is look who took delivery, right? Who are the big banks playing in the physical silver game? We know JP Morgan, obviously. That's the big mothership. But also we're looking at, let's see who took the big deliveries and who gave the big deliveries. Morgan Stanley, decent size, but obviously Bank of America, that bastard, at least 1.2 billion ounces of physical silver from JP Morgan. Here they are. They took delivery of, what is that? 8 million ounces, 8 million ounces. But the big mothership of deliveries this month is Standard Chartered Bank. A massive, massive delivery of close to 10 million ounces. No, close to, it's 12 million ounces. 12 million ounces Standard Chartered Bank delivered. Now, where's that come from? Where are all the traders on both sides? Why is it just a handful of banks that take delivery or give delivery? Why is it only the banks? If this is supposed to be a freely traded market with thousands of participants all chiming in with their, how come, like Ted Butler says, why is there a concentrated short position on the COMEX by the big commercial banks? Give me a reason other than market manipulation, because this is clearly not trading normally. And as a matter of fact, yesterday they traded in futures and options right here, 60,000 contracts, which is 300 million ounces of electronic futures and options were traded back and forth by the bank trading programs with each other to set the price. Kind of sad. Welcome to America. America! Just my last note on silver. GM raises revenue 25%. Automaker boasts full-year guidance and deepens plans for cost-cutting. They are increasing greatly their amount of electric vehicles that they're producing, which use the most of all. All cars these days use silver. Usually a regular car will use about a half an ounce. Nobody really knows how much silver is used in electric cars. Some people are saying it's an ounce and a half. Some people are saying it's 3 ounces. Some people are even saying it's 20 or 30 ounces. My guess would be ounce and a half, 2 ounces, whatever it is, it's way too much for this, for the supply side. But GM said they did 500,000 electric vehicles in last month, and then the first half of the year, and then right here they're continue to target production of roughly 100,000 electric vehicles in the second half, so double. So they had 500,000 electric vehicles in the first half and double that for the second half. That's what's going on. In solar panels, every company's doing the same thing. They're just massively increasing the production because they're getting cheap silver. I mean, imagine getting the price of silver in, let's just say, 53 years from today. What if the price of silver was still under $25? 53 years from today. And you might say, that's insane, Bix. What are you talking about? Look at all the money that would be created between now and then. Well, 53 years ago was when silver hit its all-time high of $50. Who would have bet that it would be half of its all-time high 53 years later? That's power of manipulation. That's raw power exerted on the price of silver. So yes, go to your local coin shop, load up, or go to Andy Scheckman at Miles Franklin. Has helped so many of the Road to Rooter people get on board. If you want to know what he can sell you and how much it costs, send him an email, info at milesfranklin.com, and they'll send you the inventory list. I always recommend buying from inventory because I don't know when this game is going to end. And it will be abrupt and it will be shocking. Now, on a really cool note, our friend Greg Hunter over at USA Watchdog today interviewed Jim Rickards. And he threw some cold water on everybody saying, oh my God, the BRICS are going to a gold standard in August. I had said there's no way they could. It would destroy the derivative market instantly if it was a real gold standard. And Jim Rickards says, no, it's not going to be a real gold standard that's redeemable. It'll be a fake gold standard. He even said you don't even have to have any gold to set up a gold standard. You just you mark the currency to the price of gold. And a lot of people I know are shaking their heads. What's he talking about? Then that's not anything. That's just another fiat dollar game with people that already don't trust each other. Why would anybody trust one of those currencies? And everybody else is right. Jim either doesn't understand the extent of gold price manipulation, or he's purposely not talking about it. Of course the price of gold is 100% manipulated every day, just like silver. So how can you have set up a gold pegged currency with a rigged price of gold? It just doesn't make any sense at all. So yeah, I don't even. It'll be interesting because if they do what Jim Rickards is saying, that they create a BRICS currency that is pegged to the price of gold, that's a fiat currency. They're going to print so much of that going out the back door, they're just not going to tell anybody, just like what's going on right now. So it solves nothing. And Jim's saying, yeah, well, as inflation kicks in, well, number one, the U.S. controls the inflation rate. Number two, the U.S. controls the price of gold. Number three, the U.S. controls the price of all currencies. Currencies are traded on the FX markets, the derivatives off the charts. Jamie Dimon saying $5 trillion a day is traded in his money center. That's foreign exchange derivatives, $5 trillion per day to control the system. So would an unbacked pegged currency mean anything to anybody in the world? No. Just another, to me, it's additional hyperinflation, like CBDCs. You're adding more currencies to the already overflooded currency world. It's just excess hyperinflation you're adding to the system. When you look globally, the amount of fiat money, fiat meaning ordained by the government, this should be a fiat currency. If nobody has to have any gold, and it's not transferable, the gold, and what's the difference between that and every other fiat currency ordained by the government? Ordained. That's what Jenny was saying a lot in one of our recent discussions. She came up. We're talking about gold and silver, and she's like, "It's ordained. I keep getting this. It's christened and ordained." And maybe that happens. That Cliff said there's 3 different versions of a new monetary system that get tried before everything falls apart, and we go to cryptos, gold, and silver. So maybe this is one of them. I don't know, but Jim is correct that of course it would never work. For example, China, India, Brazil, Russia, South Africa. The only one with any gold there, theoretically, would be South Africa in the ground. But who believes the amount of gold anyway that's out there? Jim Sinclair had been saying for decades the Chinese have been buying 2,000 tons of gold every year for decades, at least since the 80s, which is like, what is that, 100,000 tons of gold in 50 years? 100,000 tons? Does China really own 1/3 of the gold? The official gold number of 200,000 tons? I don't know. It makes you wonder, right? What is the true value of gold? What's going to happen when Chocolate Mountain, a great example, it's a military base that they drilled into and found massive amounts of gold. Dianne Feinstein locked it up in some desert wildlife preserve, and then they expanded the military base, and no one can go near it now. So when the old system fails and we start a new system, how do you value gold at all? Nobody would know the value of gold. No one would know the value of silver or cryptos or anything. We'll have a valueless world for a little while until we know the full extent of either fiat money. If we go to another fiat standard, kind of like the BRICS, the BRIC currency would be completely fiat, ordained by the government. Or if we try to go to a gold standard where it's redeemable, like in the Road to Ruta documents that shows a girl walking into a bank with 19 gold coins, what's the value of those coins? What's the value? What do you exchange them for? There's so many questions. That's why the Road to Ruta teacher's guide out of the Fed, I think it had 64. The count was 64 unanswered questions in that teacher's guide. Why have a teacher's guide? Is all you're going to do is ask questions. We got to get with Stephen DeVoe for that, who's still hiding in the shadows. He's got to be in his high 80s. He's the guy, the computer expert who helped Alan Greenspan implement the first computer trading programs to create our monetary system in the 70s and then to control the markets with the computer market rigging in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and it's still going on today. I don't think it's Greenspan's original programs, but pretty close to it. The concept is the same. If you can trade derivatives back and forth to control the price of every single thing on the planet, you got a little bit of control there. But you can also control the end, when the end game happens. So the crashing of the US dollar and the fiat monetary system will not happen because of BRICS or Russia or India or China. It'll happen with a click of a mouse at the Exchange Stabilization Fund in the US, because we've got control of every market on the planet. And that won't change until we're ready. And I think we're getting ready. Remember, who's the largest debtor nation in the world? The United States of America. Who wins if they click the mouse and all of a sudden the derivative bubble goes off and our friend Jamie Dimon gets destroyed? The U.S. wins. Speaking of Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan's Jamie Dimon said he would worry about another Donald Trump presidency. Of course you'd fucking worry. He was putting all your pedo friends in jail. He pulled out RICO charges against you rigging the gold and silver markets. Jamie Dimon, of course he's frightened to hell about Trump getting back in office. Which is good. Jamie Dimon's an evil, corrupt pedo. Not to hold punches or anything. Keep an eye on Jamie Dimon because the Jamie Dimon board of directors at JP Morgan Chase, they're all going to be coming down with the Epstein revelations, more Epstein revelations, and that'll take the derivative market down. And we all know the derivative market is that weapon of mass financial destruction as described by one of the secret good guys, Warren Buffett, believe it or not. Yes, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett, his father wanted to go back to a gold standard so bad in the 40s when he was a congressman. He gave speeches about it. And don't forget, Buffett idolized his father. And I know a lot of people don't agree with me on this, that Buffett is secretly working for the good guys. He's done bad things, don't get me wrong. There's always a little dark and a little light with everybody in the world these days. But ultimately, I believe it is Warren Buffett and Elon Musk and maybe even the purchaser at the U.S. Mint who is buying all this silver off the market, taking J.P. Morgan's 1.2 billion ounces, taking it back. But we'll find out soon enough. I think we'll find out by the end of the year. So it's an exciting time to go buy silver, get it in your own possession. It doesn't look like this silver rig job is going to last all that long. But remember, if you look at the moving averages, we're still hovering above the moving averages. Although the moving averages, the longer you hang out above the moving averages, the longer it brings all the moving averages up. So the low, the 200-day moving average is at $22.50 right now. Is it $22.50? Wait, no, it's right here. It's at $23. $23 is the low. So even if they slam silver, it's kind of like when Ted Butler said as we were approaching $5, and it was just right at $4.98. This is years and years ago. Ted said dollar or dimes to the downside and dollars to the upside. Yeah, they could slam the price down under the moving averages, but the upside potential is unbelievable. And that's where we are today. The massive silver short position put on last week, the last trading week, reporting week, was 120 million ounces. And those are completely naked shorts. And they're trying to close those down right now. So they have to close them down on a price slam. And that's why you see this over the last 5 days. That's what this is. Nothing has to do with fair market value of silver. The Pensacola mine that declared force majeure, we don't know who they declared force majeure on. Did they have forward sales contracts? Is that, if they did, are they reporting the derivatives that they're putting on? Maybe it's just a wholesale buyer, but it could be JP Morgan, could be someone, maybe even Bank of America is entangled with all these mines developing and delivering silver, and the largest silver mine in the world. And there's some question about whether Pensacola mine is the largest silver mine in the world, because there's a mine in Poland that says it's the number one mine, but that's actually three different mines that are like 10 miles apart from each other. Not that it matters whether it's number 1, 2, or 3, but the latest I found, because people are saying, Bix, that's not number 1. I said, it doesn't matter. They still defaulted on the contracts. They're still shut down the mine because of labor disputes. Just happens to be labor disputes at the largest silver mine in the world that shuts down for 2 months. And they were producing 2.5 million ounces per month. So it's at least 5 million ounces that'll be taken off of that ever-decreasing amount of silver that's being produced in the world, even though GM, Tesla, everybody else is going crazy trying to suck up all the silver they can. Have I told you to buy silver lately? Go buy your silver. That's what I got for you. Make sure you go to the private road. Check out all the Jenny Moon. If you haven't, there's literally, we've been doing this 2 years, probably once or twice a week. No, once or twice every 2 weeks. So there's literally over 100 discussions about what's going on, and Jenny's been all over it, and we work on this together because she doesn't know much about silver, but I do, and I don't know much about her world, and we meld those together. And so go check that out. The latest one we talk about is something we talk a lot about, the things you can't say on YouTube. So go check that out. Here's interesting. When this is before the Rickards interview with Greg Hunter. Final in-game timeline is announced. Nobody fully understands the global ramifications. Yeah, Jim Rickards got it right, but for the wrong reason. He got it right because you can't. He's saying you can't have a real gold standard, which is true. You can't, but it's not because they don't have enough gold. It's because nobody knows the value of gold because the U.S. rigs the price of gold. And why would you peg, if you're trying to get outside the U.S. dollar, why would you peg your brand new currency to something that's in the control of the United States of America? It makes no sense. So there we have it. That's what I got for you. Again, the U.S. can click a mouse and pull the plug at any time they want. And keep up to it. Go to roadtoroota.com. Put your name and email address in on the left side, and I will send you updates. And if you want to get all the information at Road to Roota, click on subscribe today, and I'll send you one of these coins. For a 1-year membership, it's a Roota Lives coin, the coolest coin ever. We are a little backed up, but we're painting them as fast as possible without screwing them up. So make sure you get yours today. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.